a Juggernaut that is faster than Surge, an MD that moves at 41 kilometers an hour, a Cheetah that is actually fast, and the new highest speed in the entire game. This is Charge Rocket 8. This weapon has a very interesting perk called Whirlwind. Fires 1 to 5 rockets in quick succession. Firing all 5 rockets will grant your mech a temporary speed boost. This speed boost is 70%, which can be boosted even further with an implant at 30%, so you can double your mech's speed with this weapon. Now, this is a completely ridiculous weapon concept, and I love it. While everyone else is going to be testing this on all of the fancy legendary toys, we're going to be covering some of these low-tier mechs to see what it would be like if they had a pretty significant speed boost with a hanger that roughly replicates the power of my free-to-play account. Alright, so here's how it works. You charge up some of the shots. You can see it slowly charging. Once it reaches that, it'll be like orange. I fire off the rockets, and all of a sudden, I'm way freaking faster. Now, one thing to note is that if I charged up both of them at the same time, I do not get twice the speed boost, that it does not stack. So the ideal way to actually cover ground with these would be to fire them one at a time. So I have them both charged up here. I'm going to use this one actually just to get close, and then I'm going to literally just get up in his face. I have to keep in mind that I have to charge the next one. That was my fault. The reload, as you can see, is very short, honestly. So that's nice. My range on this is 80 meters-ish, I believe. I'm very fast. I'm very fast. And we're going to see later the new fastest mech speed, which is on Shadow. We're going to be using Shadow with the implant that boosts the speed by even more, with Neymar that boosts your sprint speed by even more. So this is... One thing I do want to kind of point out, though, is like this weapon is kind of tricky to use. Like, you have to be constantly managing the... You have to be constantly managing the charge, right? So it's not like, you know, you just fire it once, and then when you want to fire it again, you press the trigger again. Now, you have to be constantly... essentially at all times, making sure that you're constantly charging it in the background. And holding the trigger will do that. Also, yeah, like the... Oh, crap. Like the weapon description said, your turn speed will be faster if you hold the trigger down. So that's nice for PC players, right? But it's not exactly practical for mobile. You might have kind of considered that, and that's 100% true. I definitely agree with that, and though I like the concept of this weapon a lot, just because of how crazy the mechanic is and how completely unique it is, I definitely think there was a bit of an oversight when it came to how it dealt, like how this entire thing applied. The fact that you have to like hold the trigger down to charge it up, and then hold it even more for whatever extra turn speed. I think that's an okay feature, but I think it should have been probably on a different weapon. I don't think a weapon like this needed that. And it's sort of unfortunate simply because mobile players find that very difficult to do. Also, yeah, my range is 80 meters, which is very, very bad. There is a range implant, though. I am using a level 3. Do that. You can see the damage is honestly not that good. The damage is honestly not that good. So this is going to be a really funny weapon, but I'm not sure it's going to be terribly effective. Now, it could be fairly effective for beacon captures, just to get your mech an extra speed boost. I don't know what my range is right now. Get an extra speed boost just to grab center quicker. Maybe the heavier energy variants also maybe wouldn't struggle so much in the damage department. I'm not really sure. It's really funny, though. Look at this, dude. It's actually hilarious. It's actually hilarious, and I'll be honest, I'm really glad to see more, I wouldn't say niched, but interesting mechanics being used on weapons. This is what we need more of, by the way. Different things that just modify existing things in slightly different ways. Maybe it's a weapon that increases your speed, right? Maybe it's an ability that reduces your back damage. Maybe it's a mech that gives you some other thing. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of different things that you could do, and the game has, up until recently, or at least up until right now, I guess I should say, been kind of staying away and being, I would venture to say, purposely kind of lame with it. Like, they have not been very creative, it seems like. And it's nice to see weapons with such unique features. Again, I don't know if this is actually going to be like a meta thing. The reload is so short. Okay, that sniper is actually kind of annoying. It's very tricky to get used to this. Come on, guys, kill that sniper, please, bro. This is kind of getting out of hand. Can I kill him with that? Nice. It's so fast. It's so fast. It's actually insane. Okay. It's hard to like, it's hard to think while I'm doing this. Like, all of my concentration right now, if you can't tell, all of my concentration is going into trying to make sure that I'm using the weapon correctly, trying to remember to charge up my shots and then hold it charged like this. Like, as soon as I'm clicking right now. As soon as my fingers leave the trigger, it just automatically fires. This would basically be an impossible weapon to manage on mobile, right? And that's one major downside that I would say. You know, if it could be addressed, then that would be great. But I don't really see Plarium doing anything about it. It's more likely to just be like, okay, we'll, you know, try to not do that for next time. But this weapon is just so ridiculous, though, and I have to say, like, finally something that actually changes the way that you play the game, something that actually modifies the gameplay itself. For honestly, too many things is just like, it's just about raw damage, and if it doesn't give you enough raw damage, then it's just garbage. There's no point in using it. Something like this, even, you know, maybe even this would be pretty bad without, you know, if the damage isn't sufficient enough. I mean, every weapon would be, right? But I think Plarium, I mean, when I say they, I think they rely too much on status effects. I think they give status effects a little too much credit. You know, something like Hornet and Venom, like, it kind of doesn't do that much. They, and they, you know, credit where it's due. I like weapons that, you know, instead of just relying on flat damage, have some sort of caveat to it. The status effect damage is fine, but it's usually just a matter of, you know, kind of more of the same. Like, it's really nothing unique at the end of the day. It doesn't feel unique. It doesn't feel, you know, it doesn't really feel any different from what you're used to. This really feels different. And it takes so much concentration to actually use this. It takes so much concentration. I'm like locked in right now. It's all I can do to keep the commentary up. That cheetah bot's gonna be annoying. Well, actually, I have my shield up. I didn't realize. But you double the speed on this, and then you sprint, and it multiplies it by even more. If I added Namor pilot, it would be even more. It makes me sad that I can't get Namor on my free-to-play account. For all of you other guys that are also sad that you can't get it, or if you're wondering why you can't get it, or if it'll ever come back, no, it's not coming back. It's a matter of, like, they had a contract with Namor, and their contract is now expired, so it's just like, yeah, it's not gonna happen. It is a radius weapon, this weapon, though. So it's like, you know, even though the damage itself is not phenomenal, and I'm saying this while wrecking a bunch of things, but, you know, these are also bots, right? I got 12 kills with them. I think the damage is solid enough that it should be able to be fairly effective. There's multiple projectiles, so it'll be able to deal with multi-layered shields somewhat effectively. And the reload's just really, really short, so it's like, you know, there's that benefit as well. You don't have to worry about that. So, yeah, it's just a lot of things going for it. Stuff that I really can't complain too much about. I don't know. In terms of it being meta, you might have to ask Platinum or something about that. I personally don't really see it, but I mean, it's possible, I guess. Yeah, keep this damage boost on ya. You get some HP back here. Hey, there we go. I'm just gonna... It's so fast, bro. I'm just gonna... You just fire it for the speed boost, honestly. Like, you just fire it for the speed boost. Boom, 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 boom. Oof. Yeah, I took a bit of damage from that. That was not really worth it. I don't know, like... I guess to some degree, it probably depends on how it compares, like, maxed 12s versus maxed multi-layer shields. Is probably what would determine, on, like, common mechs, like Surge, whatever, right? That's probably what would determine whether or not it would actually be meta-compatible. Obviously, if it takes multiple projectiles per shield layer, then it's probably not going to be great. Oh. Yeah, you're weird. The reload's really good, though. Really short, I mean. So, like, it's sort of spammy. You can throw a bunch of projectiles downwind, even if you don't necessarily kill anything, with one volley. You know, you got your next volley pretty quickly. So that's not bad. I need to hide, I think. How am I gonna deal with this? He's dead. That's how I deal with that. There we go. Just run onto the beacon. No! I lost my damage boost as well. Yeah, that's unfortunate. With all of that said, though, there's one thing I can tell you that I'm not excited for, and that's to have the 16s on Deathwalker, because those, or any of them on Deathwalker, really, I think that's going to be a bit excessive, and I think Deathwalker would probably make a little bit too good use out of that. Maybe as a replacement for Stormrack, it would just be excessively fast, and there'd be no escaping it. Maybe it's not good enough. Maybe the damage isn't good enough. Maybe it wouldn't actually be a problem. I have no idea, but something tells me it's going to be an absolute pain to deal with, and that I'm not going to enjoy it very much. But we'll see. What are you? I think the radius on this is like 5 meters, by the way. I actually didn't really check. There's no radius implant, though, thankfully. There. I'm actually not gonna... Oh, used to that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the reload's so fast. I mean... You know, I don't want to say it because I know just saying it is going to cause everyone to freak out. But if they did nerf Stormrack, I do sort of wonder if this might end up being a replacement for it. Like if they nerfed the reload implant especially. Which I would kind of expect them to do. Seems like an obvious move on their end. But again, I don't know if the damage on this is adequate. Let's see. Yeah, it's like I'm fighting against like all these bots that are fairly low, like they're fairly low grade or whatever. They're not max level. They don't have mods, most of them. You can one-shot that Zephyr, but like it's a Zephyr. So like, a lot of things could one-shot that. Missile Rex could probably one-shot that very easily as well. So... it's not necessarily to say that these are strong, but it is to say that they're strong enough. I think there's definitely something to be said that they are strong enough to where they're not specifically weak, as opposed to like stasis beam or whatever, right? Which is just like excessively weak to the point where sure, the status effect might be kind of cool sometimes. You'd never use it because the damage is just so bad. Or even like Hornet, right, as another example, I guess. You know, of stuff that can be okay. The status effect or whatever perk seems good, but at the end of the day, the damage is just not good enough to make up for it. I think this weapon's damage is okay, and I'm sort of glad to see that they're not completely tanking the damage into the dirt just to make room for some weird effect. It's like Suppressor, right? It's like Suppressor, where it's like the status effect, the perk lowers your enemy's damage. It sounds super OP. The damage was just really, really lackluster though, and so even though, yeah, technically you could use it as a sidearm or you could use it specifically for the utility, nobody ever would. It wasn't good enough to use for the utility. And I think the same applies to this. If the damage was a bit lower, then nobody would use it. It wouldn't be viable. But yeah, I'm not necessarily saying that I think it's too strong or that I think it's not strong enough. I'm not necessarily saying anything, I'm just kind of thinking out loud. And, I mean, as of right now, it seems alright. It seems, I mean, a little bit on the strong end, potentially, but again, these are just bots. If I was up against, like, a Revoke or something with actual, like, real damage output, like maybe Overdriver, there's no chance I would be, like, out-brawling them, right? It's just no... It just wouldn't happen. So... I, like, absolutely blitz in here, bro. It's ridiculous. It's so funny. Like, say what you want about it. It is funny. It is so funny. This weapon's hilarious. I'm gonna put all three of them there. I think there's another enemy still coming in this way. No. Yeah, my effective range is pretty garbage. I'm gonna let you trigger that. Boom, 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 boom. Hold on. That's a bit high. Right. Yeah, you deserve that. Pick a direction. Yeah, that entire time I wasn't even charging up my... it's so hard to, like, mentally keep track of all these things that I need to do. I might even just, like, because they're both weak... Oh, there's only one of them. I just, like, absolutely... I'm just sprinting, dude. It's just... It's so funny. It's hilarious. It's so funny. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Okay, there. The more I use it, the more I think the damage is maybe even slightly too high. Maybe even slightly too high. Again, we'll see how it ends up at higher levels or against like legendary stuff or whatever. These are mostly the stuff that I'm shooting right now is mostly like, you know, weak bots like Zephyr. So, I can't really say definitively, but... Hello. It's the fastest Zephyr you're ever gonna see. It looks so stupid, too. That's the best part. It just looks so dumb. But it's hilarious. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna get out of here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that did decent. You don't have to charge it up either, right? Like, I can charge up just one shot and then fire one shot. I don't have to charge up all 5, but you don't get the speed boost unless you charge up all 5, right? It's probably just a good idea for this weapon to just, like, constantly have, like, fire them one at a time individually and then just have them charging in the background at all times. Which, again, it's like, this is never going to be practical on mobile. It's just never going to be. That's obviously a thing that they should have considered before making this weapon the way that they did. I think the speed boost thing is fine. I mean, the charge mechanic, was it necessary, though? Was it necessary? I'm not really sure. I don't know. You know, the increased turn speed is fine. Was like, so long as you're holding the fire button down. That's fine because mobile players can do that. But with a weapon like this, you're like, you really want to be staggering your shots, which is harder on mobile. And then also like constantly charging them in the background is like, yeah. All right, let's go. Aegis with like basically double the speed. It's kind of ridiculous, dude. It's kind of ridiculous, and the charge is fast enough, by the way, to just keep this, like, to keep the speed boost permanently. Like, you can keep the speed boost permanently if you just keep firing one after another constantly. I don't want to be inside this guy's range. I'm just gonna do that the entire time. I'm so spoiled for speed now. Like, if I'm not doing this, it just feels slow. That's one thing that's gonna kind of be sad about this. I'm so spoiled for speed. Oh, I don't think I got the speed on that one. No, I didn't. Hi. Ray. Get out of here. Okay, he's cooked. My range is right now. I can outrun the cheetah mines with this. That's actually wild. Okay. Come on. Hi. Okay, that's a bit of damage. That's a bit of damage. I do have a legendary pilot on here, but it's only rank 5, which is about what you'd have at this SP. So it's nothing, like, it's nothing crazy. I might be cooked. Yeah, I'm definitely cooked. Alright, I have them on a maxed MD now. This thing's gonna be booking it. Now, maybe it's a good idea to use this speed to just kind of, yeah, get around this corner real quick. Get myself a vantage point. This is going to be something that happens a lot more as people get more of these. Is that you're going to have people trying to, like, kind of make their way around these corners, getting like different angles on people right out the rip, as opposed to going like straight for the center beacon or you know, just straight for any beacon. I think you're probably gonna see people going for a little bit more advantageous angles, trying to get really good angle right out the gate. So like on this map, for example, covering one of those buildings right at the beginning of the match basically keeps the enemy bots, or just the enemy team in general, from being able to really exit their home area like this. Like, you see they're all, like, really struggling to do much of anything. So just getting that, oof, okay. Just getting that angle quickly is very beneficial. Oh, crap. I mean, hold on. There's a long reload time. It's Arch Twins. Uh-oh. Oh, he already fired. Hi. Please don't do that. There's no one coming up. It's a Redox. Please. I'm gonna die. Oh wait, no, I'm not. Everything's fine. Okay. Yeah, I should have taken off the range on this, though. Wasn't sure what kind of map I was gonna get. Yeah, I think the range implant's gonna be one of those that you're gonna really want to have. It's gonna be one of the more popular ones. I do have this... I do have the speed boost implant as well, I think, on this one, but it doesn't do necessarily a ton. I think on some builds it might be okay to use, but I think damage is going to be the most important, just to make sure that you're actually able to kill stuff. Dang. This is going surprisingly well, though. I mean, again, it is bots. It is bots, and they're using fairly weak stuff, so I don't want to necessarily jump the gun, but it does seem pretty decent, right? It does seem pretty decent. Which brings us to the new fastest build in the entire game, Charge Rocket Shadow. I have Neymar on here with Stealth Speed Implant, the Charge Rocket Speed Boost Implant, duration, and cooldown for the ability. Alright, I'm gonna run this battle, and then we're going to test... Oop, we're gonna test Shadow versus... This is so ridiculous, bro. Look at it, like... Bro basically teleports. I'm gonna run this, and then we're gonna test this against Slingshot, which is the old, or I guess you could say current, as I'm, you know, making this video. It's not technically out yet. So we're gonna test it against Slingshot as well as probably Vortex, because Vortex also has a speed boost. I'm just gonna... Whee! It's so stupid. How does this happen? This is exactly what I want in a game. This is exactly what I want in a game, by the way. Devs, freaking take notes. Yes, I love game balance, but you should allow some things to just be stupid for the sake of being stupid. Some things are supposed to be stupid. Orion should be able to one-shot things with certain weapons. Shadow should be able to just teleport across the map. This is what I signed up for. All right, let's get rid of this. Hey friend. Let me just kind of teleport behind you real quick. Yeah, don't worry about me. I'll be back here minding my own business. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. Okay, use that. Use this. Jeez, I almost fell off the map. I'm going too fast. I'm going too fast. I'm going entirely too fast. Like, it's actually hard to keep up with what's going on. 3, 2, 1. Oh, jeez, I'm almost dead. Wasn't good. And I'm so glad that the fastest mech is something stupid like Shadow, but let it be known that Eclipse is going to be almost just as fast, and it's going to be stupidly hard to kill. It's going to be way tougher. It's going to be way tankier and whatever. Just kind of sad. I wish there was more stuff like this, bro. Like, this is exactly what I want. Something that's just absolutely insanely ridiculous in one way, but then everything else is kind of garbage, right? Alright, so we're going to test out the straight shot speed of these 3 mechs all side by side on Agora from one end of the map to the other. I'm pretty sure this is the furthest straight shot you can get. Alright, well, let me know your guys' thoughts on Charge Rocket and your predictions for what people are going to be mostly using it on. Like, you could either buff the speed of something that's already fast, like the Shadow, right? Or you could buff the speed of something that's slow that potentially needs a speed buff to be effective. Now, my bets are on something that's already fast, because especially since this is a multiplier, it's actually going to add more value to the stuff that's already fast, so I think people are mostly going to be using it as like the absolute like speed of speed type builds. But there also could be certain mechs that are like just absolutely brutal if they were a bit faster. Deathwalker is definitely one of them, right? Like if it was a bit faster, then that'd be kind of ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Otherwise, yeah, that will be it for me. Appreciate y'all. Take care.